Welcome to What's on My Bench. Today we have episode number 2, the Formula One car from Sakura, the FGX. Ran pretty good this weekend, exception of one thing. The front end tried to fall off. So what we're going to do here, we're going to try and see what's wrong, what do I got to fix, what do I got to buy to get working again. So first things first. Let's take the body off. I've already taken the body clips off, and we're going to go under the hood. A beat up hood it is. So first things I see, the front end here looks a little on the broken side. I don't know if you can see that break there, pardon the over the camera, not used to be behind me. I've tried to glue this a couple times. So we're going to take it apart and see how bad it is. I'm going to start with this wing. As you can see, it's kind of floppy and needs to be repaired. We need to take it apart, put it back together properly, so might as well do it first. That was no section. More. There. There's hard to see, but we'll get it off. So you have a bolt and screwdriver for this jaw. It's hard to get too straight on, so I'll get this back to it. That was so there we are. There's 2 screws in here and 2 right here that go under here. So this looks like it just came apart on both sides. The little tiny micro screws that hold it in, and everything else looks okay. We can fix it up, put that back together, and we'll be good to go for next week. The trouble is up here. So first things first, I'm going to take this whole front clip off. This front clip can come off with 1 screw. And the front clip comes off. It's just held on with 4 little pins to locate it and 1 screw to hold it in. Now I'm going to take this front piece that's broken off, and it's got 1 screw in the middle. And there's a screw on the top and bottom of this piece. So I'd have to kind of hold it, put some pressure on it while I unscrew. And as you can see, the little bit of glue I had on there actually let go. So what was happening when I was cornering with this thing, it was doing more of those. So we're going to pop this guy off. I'm going to take the balls from here and just take them off because we're going to leave that on the board. Grab a nice pair of pliers and grab this ball cup. Just give it a little bit of twist. Same thing on this side. Grab the ball, give it a little twist. This front clip comes off. So this piece here is supposed to be 1 solid piece that goes onto the main chassis. But as you can see, it's broken and it's been glued a couple times. I've also had a stiffener I put in, custom built stiffener, and it has come apart. It actually broke on one of the big crashes. If you want to see those crashes, go to our LRCCC channel, lrccc.tv, under the users for YouTube. And you'll see that spectacular crash. Alright, I'm going to take the top screw off this front piece here. And there's 2 more screws in the back. Now the top plate is basically free. Now there's 2 shocks and 1 center piece we have to worry about. So I'm going to get my hand pliers here and roll off the first one. And so you can see. Now that's off. Here we are. Not a whole lot to this car. It's pretty small. But this is the main chassis plate with the rear end. Okay, so everything else looks okay. Servo mount looks good. Motor mount looks good. This is the door for the battery tray. The battery can fit in here, so you can run a full stick pack in this car. nice that way. You can also run a shorty pack, which I had here, sitting this area, and with just a little retainer weight I glued to the chassis, but it's come off on a big crash. So we can put this aside. This is all good now. This is just all ready to go. We'll put this aside. Now we're going to come back to the front of the car. This is the whole steering assembly, and it needs to come apart. So there's 2 screws with nuts in the bottom. We'll be careful with those nuts. These 2 nuts have to be captured. There's a little bit of glue in that one, so that should stay. I usually put my fingers over these 2 nuts when I take those 2 screws out. Let me zoom in here for you and get a better view. That's out. This is in. So again, I'll put my finger on the screw. And we'll back that out. Again, being careful not to lose that screw, and same thing with the back one. Put our finger on it. Let's go to focus here. Can you see that? Perfect. Before it all falls apart on me. Now, I'm going to zoom you out to here so you can see what's going on. There we go. So this has 3 parts to it. We have the bottom piece, which the tires are mounted onto. See that there? We have the center piece, which is the upper mounts the ball studs to, and the top plate, which is the chassis plate. So to get all this off, we need to take these 4 wall cups off. And like anything else, I usually like a little bit of leverage. Sometimes people call me lever man. And we're just going to pry and pop off there. And same for this one. Just get into the edge. Ouch. And try not to stab yourself. Ow. Wasn't smart. Anyway, so those 2 popped off fairly nicely. Now, a lot of people are having problems breaking these arms, and I haven't broken one yet. I've broken the chassis, not broken the arms. So now we have our 2 of our 3 pieces out. We have the bottom plate, which has a little steering component on it. Set that aside. And we have this top piece, which is the chassis plate and the camber plate. This is also the caster plate. So this slides back and forth, which will move the bottom plate back and forth this way. That can set our caster. Our camber is set by the location of these screws. And each one of these, there's a 1, 2, and 3 negative degree locks you can get. This one here, I think, is the 1 degree because it's almost all the way on the way of the outside. And of course, now this piece comes off, and we have the camber plate, the top plate, which is supposed to be part of that, and this is the piece I made originally, but it snapped off. That connected the top plates together. So the other half of the top plate's here. This is supposed to be connected permanently here, and as you can see, not by much. There's not a lot there. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but generally speaking, there's not a whole lot of material here. So when I broke it the first time, I built a plate that crossed over these 2 holes onto here to hopefully try to strengthen this whole area. Now I should have transferred it all the way back to something a little bit stronger than reinforced plastic. That's all this is. This is layerized reinforced plastic. Kind of like carbon fiber, but not carbon. It's plastic. The same idea, using the same methods. So I've ordered the carbon support and a new top plate. So this has to all come undone tonight. So when I get the new pieces in, hopefully this week, I can put it back together. So I'm ready for you. The first part is that first start are very hard to make. No, I'm sorry, we'll play this. So all I have to online. This is one to find later. Blasters. These are for the shocks. So here's our completed removal of this piece. Everything else will be reused. And this piece here is a grand total of, I think, $9.65 or something like that. Support piece is $8, and I'll be back up and running to go.